This weekend, the Daytona 24-hour race and the annual kickoff to American road racing. And that was the sound of the Helmet TX turbine that made its debut at the 1968 Daytona 24. Now, it's the sound of the wind whipping through the empty grandstands as NASCAR's Grand Am leadership does its part to take apart road racing in the U.S. I can already hear you angry typing your keyboard. Okay, Leo, nice that you're not a voiceover, but in 3 sentences, you lost me. And this is not the FLD I signed up for. Okay, let me explain. First, the helmet represents to me earlier times when the Daytona 24 attracted some really cool cars with rules that allowed them. Wiki Helmet TX to learn about its helicopter engine, single-speed gearbox but multi-speed differential, and the electric motor they had to use that served as its reverse gear. In 1968, the Daytona 24 was part of the FIA International Championship for Makes, a global series that surrounded Daytona with races at Sebring and Le Mans, plus Spa, Nürburgring, Monza, Watkins Glen, and a few more. This series, at that time, attracted all the great makes to Daytona. And even when IMSA took over, great cars still made the pilgrimage. Big prototypes, exotic GTs. Okay, well, not all cool. There was this 1970s American Motors gremlin. But here's Porsche. Here's Porsche winning the 68 race. Yeah, the helmet broke, but look at the stands, crowded, unlike today's races. So what happened? Non-factory race cars, spec cars, nationalistic isolation, and no more night racing. More explaining, here we go. You tell me, which do you want to watch? Daytona prototypes like this, or the 70s Porsche 917, this 80s Jaguar XJR9, or this 90s Toyota Eagle GTP? And in GT, you have today's tube frames masquerading as Mazdas, BMWs, and Camaros, or real sports cars like the aptly named Ferrari Daytona, or a Corvette race car, as driven by the Dale Earnhardt in 2001 when Corvette won overall. There's nationalistic isolation now. When Daytona stopped being an international venue, the attraction ended for factory teams and drivers. Gone are the big sports car stars like a Derek Bell. Did I just use the D word at FastLaneDaily? That's an instant 7,000 comments. But the point is, now I get NASCAR peddlers like Jamie McMurray. Jamie McWho. And how do you have a 24-hour race with no night racing? Well, you let NASCAR light the facility and then think it's okay, I guess for TV, to flip the switch and chase away the specialness and the challenge of racing in the dark. Okay, so what to watch for this year's Rolex 24 and Continental Challenge races? 14 DPs, 29 GTs will take the 24 green flag. Dynon Engineering has their non-factory BMW V8 in the 2 Ganassi Rileys. Time for a second BMW Daytona 24 win? BMW took its only P1 back in 1976 with the 3.0 CSL. Cool car. Porsche has 2 breeds in the race, the classic Flat 6 and the Lozano Prep V8 from the Cayenne and now Panamera. See? They're both sports cars. Will Brumos Porsche Flat 6 repeat last year's win? They're down to 1 car thanks to budget and the JC France arrest. He's not in jail yet, but the rumor is JC's prison bitch name has already been picked out for him. It's Danica Patrick. In GT, another BMW story has the Turner M6 looking really sharp, even though it's a redressed Pontiac tube frame. 2 Camaros, a Vette, and a Ferrari will likely be outmatched by the 13 GT Porsches and 7 Mazdas. And key P&M teams, they are quick. In the Conti Challenge, 45 GS and 35 ST cars run their 2.5-hour race today. In GS, Ford launches their grassroots 302R Mustang. 4 of the 17 Fords are this latest spec, and it was fastest in testing. 6 Camaros finally get to the track for the classic matchup, and by that I mean independent rear suspension versus live axle. But 9 Porsches, 2 being Caymans, and 9 more BMW will put up the fight. Mix in a Subaru, an Audi, and 2 lightened Fiat Dodge Challengers, it should be good racing. ST is import heaven, loaded with Honda, VW, Mini, BMW, and Kia versus 2 Chevy Cobalt. May the best car win, GM. So as we catch some Daytona racing action and in-car shots, and you get ready to watch on Speed TV, consider this. The secret of endurance driving is managing the nuances. You know, the cars are so stout, it's no longer about saving the mechanicals, although being smart with the brakes and the fuel is still good distance racing. No, the nuances are watching the tells from the other cars and drivers to figure out what they're doing, to plan your moves, and to keep your car out of trouble, abuse, or crashes. So watch how the drivers work traffic, run the backstretch chicane, and keep their cars out of the garage and the duct tape hell that results from fender smacking and stupid driving. The really good racers, the pros, will bring it home in one piece, not in a hefty trash bag. Enjoy.